Yep, it's Goldy, and today we are gonna be installing Arch Linux from scratch because why not? This video is not gonna be like a tutorial. It's not gonna be like an installation guide. This is just literally just me installing Arch. I'm gonna have some music in the background, and the first thing you want to do is set the actual right keyboard layout. So as you guys may or may not have known, I just woke up in a fucking and we have a different keyboard layout to US. So there's a command called local ECTL list, and it's list key maps, and that's going to list every single keyboard layout that's available for us. Now my keyboard layout, it should be UK something, I believe, or I think it's EN-UK. I'm not 100% sure. Found UK. Okay, so to actually select the key, we want to do load keys and UK. So now I've selected my keyboard layout to be UK. Now this is very important because you don't want to be typing the wrong characters. So now the next step you want to do is connect to the internet, because as you guys probably know, right now we have no internet connection. I believe I actually do. I actually do have an internet connection. Okay. My bad. It's because I'm using an Ethernet cable, so it like when you're using an Ethernet cable, it's already configured right out the bat. But if you're using like Wi-Fi or stuff, you actually have to go into the terminal and you have to use the, I believe there's I forgot the command for Wi-Fi, but there is a command for it. IWCTL. Aha, yes, it's IWCTL. You have to use that command to configure your Wi-Fi connection. But because I'm using an Ethernet cable, it just works right out the bat already. So you can see ping, and it already works. But there is a way to confirm that you have like Ethernet cable or Wi-Fi, or whatever you're using your loopback, if it actually exists. Yeah, IP link is what shows you that. Alright, so next step you wanna do is type fdisk, and you wanna confirm that your disks exist. You want to confirm that your drives are basically like visible by Arch. The first disk is the important one, /dev/VDA is the one where I'm going to actually install my operating system onto. So what you want to do now is use fdisk to partition your drive. So right now your drive is just like literally like a plain canvas. It's just a piece of unallocated storage. It's just unallocated 10 gigabytes just sitting there. What we're going to do is actually type our device name, which is dev/dev/VDA is our one. So it's VDA. So fdisk is a util. It gives you like a nice CLI to actually partition your drives. So you want to be very careful with fdisk, because you know if it says it's going to partition something, it's going to partition something, and it's going to clear and delete everything from that drive. So you have to be very careful with fdisk. I wouldn't even recommend using fdisk if you're like new to Linux. Like please just boot into like a Ubuntu live disk or something and install something called, I forgot what it's called, but there's a very nice disk util, but I'll link it in the description, or I'll comment it down below what this util I mean. Okay, so what we want to do is fdisk and then our actual device, and here you want to type n. I'll just press default. I'm going to do partition 1 and press enter here. Now last partition is where we actually want to put the size of the partition. So it's recommended to have 2 partitions. One partition would be your swap partition, and the other partition is going to be your actual main partition when you install your operating system. But because I'm just installing this in a VM and it's not actually my main system, I don't feel like creating a swap file. I don't feel like creating a swap partition. So I'm just gonna have this be my main partition. To do that, we can just have the entire drive. I'm gonna press enter here, and now we've created our partition. And now what we want to do is type W to actually write it to our drive, and now it's exited out of fdisk. And now what you want to do is actually format the partition. So what we did was create the partition. Now what we want to do is actually format it to something like ex4. To do that, we can do mkfs.ex4, I believe it is, ext4, and then you want to do the actual name of the device, so /dev once again, and then it's gonna be, but we want to put the actual partition, so that will mean it's gonna be VDA1. That's our actual, where we put our actual operating system onto, because remember there can be multiple partitions under this device. They could be VDA2, VDA3, but I just have one partition. Like I said, I don't want a swap partition, so one partition is going to be VDA1. So this is what we're going to actually partition to ext4. Okay, now this is where we actually get to the installation part of Arch Linux. Now we're going to begin with mounting our actual main partition to our machine right now, well, to our live disk. So to do that, we can do mount, and then we can put do the actual drive. So it's got /dev/VDA, and I believe you have to do, okay, no, it's just VDA1 because we specify the partition, not just the drive. It's a partition, and now this is a convention. You want to put this into a mounting point called mnt. Now this is where we're going to install essential packages. So to do that, there's a command on the installation ISO called packstrap. What this allows us to do is it allows us to pass the actual mounting point of where to pass the actual like partition, our drive, and then the things we want to install. So what we want to install, the packages we want to have by default on the system are the main packages. We want. So one main package is going to be base, and then you want to also add the Linux here, and then we also want the Linux framework package. And on top of this, I'm going to also install some packages as well that I want. So this is where you can install your packages as well. I'm gonna install things like that, which is required package on Arch. I think Nano as well is one that isn't pre-installed. Oh, it's actually my bad, it's actually firmware. That's a massive mistype. So it's firmware, I believe. So let's go ahead and install all of that. And let's go also install some other packages as well it needs, and also Nano. Now it's done, and I think I just remembered what the important package was that we needed. It is actually a network manager, so we actually need a network manager. Issue is because when we actually are done with the installation ISO and we boot into the actual operating system, we might have some difficulty with the network. We have some difficulty. The last time I installed Arch, I also had some difficulties with the network, and I had to install network manager. Now the thing was, I couldn't install network manager because my network wasn't working. So you know what, we're gonna save our butts of that, and we're gonna install it now as we have the network working. So let's do network manager, this is gonna be the package we install. And now we want to actually tell our system how to mount this drive. To do that, we're going to use fstab. There's a command for this, which I'm going to link in the comments, or yeah, I'm going to link it in the comments or description, whatever. And it's called generate stab. So it's gen stab. And I'm going to do -u. And we want to do the actual mounting point. So this is where that device is actually mounted. And I'm going to do arrow, and do the slash mount and then slash once again, hit C slash stab. So this basically tells our operating system, hey, device needs to be mounted and needs to be mounted this way and so on. I don't understand this kind of side of things much, but I know this is a required command you should run. And now we are gonna chroot into our drive. So now we're not gonna be using chroot. We're not gonna be using the default chroot. We're gonna be using something called arch chroot, which should be same spelling like so. And we're gonna set our drive like so. And now we are chrooted into our drive. We can confirm that by doing ls, so you can see the whole structure here. Now what we're gonna do is set the actual time correctly. So to do that, we do ln and do -sf to create a link, and we're gonna do user, actually not user as in USR, not user, not the actual spelling, USR, and share slash zone info slash region and city. So I think it's zone info and then the actual region and city. And then you want to do space slash etc slash local time. And then we're gonna run hw clock dash this. I believe it's sys and then tohc. Now another step that is also important is to change the keyboard layout, and to do that, instead of doing local, we do v console dot conf. When I say config, I mean conf. So up here I'm going to do key map equals, and I want to do the actual keyboard layout that we set. We are on to the network configuration step, which is where we actually enter in our host name for our network. To do that, very quick, we do the same nano etc slash, but instead we do slash host name. Here we're going to put in the name of our host, which for me is going to be Arch Linux, and I don't know, Arch Linux install. That's what it's going to be for me. And now we want to set a password for our system. To do this, we could do passwd. Out of here, I'm going to set a password. And now this is the step where you want to install a bootloader of your choice. So I'm going to install grub. But to do that, we're going to use pacman. Let's enter, and that's going to install grub for us. Okay, so I seems like I did a mistake. When I installed grub, I didn't actually like complete the whole installation. So we're going to do that. So the step we actually missed, my understanding, was grub install. So when you install grub, you have to use the grub install command, and you have to set a target for it. And the target for my VM, because I am using the BIOS, and then recheck needed and VDA. Another step that we also need is grub mkconfig. This is gonna generate the grub config for us, so do that. Oh, I actually just, there we go, it's actually /boot /grub.cfg, I believe it is. And now we can boot out of this. So exit and to well, we actually can't reboot because we actually need to change our shutdown, and need to do that now. So I was actually supposed to unmount it. I didn't unmount it, I just got the warning. Oh, let's just go that real quick. I got the warning there, but it was not unmounted, but it's fine. If I go over here, if I just go over to boot options, and I can now move the drive up, and just disable the CD, we don't need it anymore. And now let's see if it works, fingers crossed. And we're in grub. And now it's gonna boot up the Arch So now we're in Arch Linux. Now to log in, choose root and type our password here. So what we want to do now is actually add our user. So we do a user add and then -m and Goldy. What this is going to do is add the user and also our home directory. And now we want to set password for that user. So we do password.pass wd. I meant pass wd and then the user. And then we also want to add a group for that user. So you want to do user mod -a-g. And then the name of the group, it should just be the name of the user as well. And then the name of the user. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do pacman-s and I want to install sudo. And it looks like our network manager is not enabled, so I'm going to do system ctl enable network manager. I believe this should be the command. Okay, that's not the command. Okay, so it's actually network manager, capital NM. Let's go enable our network manager. And now I want to start our network manager. Before we start it, actually, let's do status. It's enabled and it's inactive. So we want to do enable, no, start, I mean. And now let's try the command again. Okay, I just had to do it again because it took time. Also, a thing to do would be adding our user to wheel, which is going to allow us to use commands like sudo. I'm going to use this command here to add our actual user to the sudo list. And now we have that saved. Now we can log out and we can log back into our normal user. And now we should be able to do sudo pacman-s. We should be able to install PLASMAAAA. So give us two options here. We're gonna use for this install, we're gonna use ffmpeg, but you could use gstreamer as well. And I have two options for jack. We're gonna use pipewire jack here, and then the non-provided available for TTF font. We're gonna use Noto fonts here. And then also for emoji font, we're gonna use Noto font emoji. It's gonna install a bunch of packages. And now we are installing our desktop GUI environment. Now we have Plasma installed. Now we're gonna do system ctl and enable SDDM. So actually there's sudo systemctl enable CDM. Okay, so it seems like enabling SDDM in systemctl was all it took to allow this. So now we have Plasma. So we have Plasma Wayland and we have Plasma X11. I'm going to use Wayland and we'll log into our user here. And we are now in KDE Plasma 6. We now have a GUI installed. Okay. One issue though is my cursor seems to be broken. So we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna go here. This by the way, this is just virtual machine stuff. It could just be a virtual machine bug. So this isn't gonna actually happen on your system, but I'm gonna try and fix it here. Okay, so I fixed the cursor issue. I am no longer using the VirtIO display, so now we have a different cursor. Okay, now we can just change our display configuration real quick here. if it's possible. Into 19 by 1080, and let's apply. Now, yeah. So yes, there we go. Apart from a few bugs and glitches and changes and commands we had to run there, we now have Arch Linux with KDE Plasma installed. Now let me just quickly actually I think I might need to switch to terminal, because we actually don't have a terminal installed, and I think that's the wrong TTY. Hold on, let me just jump over to F3. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna use this login real quick. So now I'm gonna do sudo pacman s. I'm gonna install Konsole. And now we can switch back. I believe it's literally there's a button right there. And now we can do Konsole, and we now have a terminal in KDE. And now the moment of truth for the command that just has to be ran on Arch Linux neofetch. We now have Arch Linux installed. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any other videos you want. You just comment below, or just tell me anything else that would be nice to kind of, you know, do a little video on. And yeah, so watching the video, hope you enjoyed it, and peace out.